Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope that you are doing so very well. I'm sorry that it's been like a week since I posted a video. The nonprofit that I work for part-time was putting on a benefit concert and I was a major part of the planning process and the executing process and all of that. So my entire week was pretty much like jam-packed. So yeah, let's wrap it up and TBR it up. Well, it was another good reading month for me. I read 14 and a half books. The half is a novella. I'm really proud of myself. I really don't know how I did that with how busy I was this month, but you know, yay me. Go me. The first 5 books I read this month, as you might have guessed, were the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. I did my Heroes of October Medial where I was trying to read the first 4 books in the first 7 days of this month, which unfortunately did not happen. I finished them and I finished Blood of Olympus, but it was a little bit longer than I was expecting because I was so busy at the start of this month with Kathleen being in town and with my job, and it was just crazy, but I finished them, so I'm proud of myself for doing that. I feel like this series just has a lot of nostalgia, and my nostalgia books tend to get 5 out of 5 stars just because I love the characters and I love the writing so much. So yeah, all of these are 5 out of 5 stars for me. And Blood of Olympus, guys. Blood of Olympus. I really enjoyed it, honestly. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really did. It wasn't perfect, that's for sure. It wasn't absolutely perfect. There were still some things I'm like, maybe this could have happened or this could have happened, but all in all, I thought it was an amazing close to the series. 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. This was the Booksplosion book of the month if you didn't know, so that is why I read this. I thought it was alright. Britt was an interesting main character because I felt like Becca Fitzpatrick kind of pegged it as she had so much character development, but you didn't really know her before, so it was like she just changed slightly from the beginning of the book, but it was really crazy. I did predict the ending, but there were still a lot of twists and turns that even though I kind of predicted, I was like, man, you just went there, Becca Fitzpatrick, you just went there. This ended up being a 3 out of 5 stars for me because it was just kind of like, alright. It wasn't like amazing, like I would recommend it to everybody, but it wasn't like absolutely the worst book I've ever read in my entire life. The next book that I read was 172 Hours on the Moon by Johann Harstand. I read it with Katie from Vincent Van Stop and Dylan from Dylan Books. I really liked it. I didn't love it, but I really liked it. I liked how things were portrayed and the end was just crazy, but it was a lot of like less action and then there was like a bunch of action at the end, so it was like overall, I really liked it. I would recommend this. I think you should read this, especially if you want to read something creepy, but not too creepy. Like, this didn't give me nightmares, but it was still pretty creepy. It's about kids going to the moon and crazy stuff happens. That's basically all you need to know. This got 4 out of 5 stars from me. The next book that I read was Ignite by Lily Paradis. I actually received this copy for review and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a really far stretch and really unrealistic, but most of the time contemporaries are really unrealistic. So once I kind of got past that hurdle, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the guy in this book. His name is Dean and he is really cool, really cute, really nice. I also like that it's not really insta-love and it's not really insta-hate either. It's slightly like it, but it's not so in your face like, boom, we meet, we're in love forever. And they kind of dislike each other and have some witty banter going on, but they don't like all out hate each other like you're the worst person ever and then 5 seconds later they're in love. So I really enjoyed that about this book as well. Like I said, unrealistic plot, really like crazy stuff happens to the point where I was like, alright, pretty sure this would not be A, legal, B, ever happen in real life, but you know, once I got past it, I really liked it. This got a 3.75 out of 5 stars for me. The next book that I read this month was Damsel Distressed by Kelsey Mackey. I don't know if you can see that. It's right there on my Kindle. Right there. I really enjoyed Damsel Distressed, honestly. It was different than a lot of YA contemporaries that I've ever read. There was some musical theater aspects and they talked a lot about mental health and mental health issues and how to deal with things, and it was really good in that sense. I didn't love the characters a lot. I was like, on the characters, but the story and everything that happened was so good. I actually did a video about it, Say Yes to Distressed. I'll link it down below and right here on the screen if you want to go watch that and see some embarrassing stories about my life. I believe it's a 3.5. I don't know if I said 4 stars in my last video, but I'm going with it's a 3.5 out of 5 stars from me. The next book I read I was really looking forward to, even though I totally forgot it was released this month, and that was In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. I got this book so freaking early, guys. Like, you don't even know. It was like 10 days before it came out or something ridiculous like that. And I was so happy that I got to read it early. It was so good. Oh my gosh. I read Recaptain's blog posts before I read this book. Recaptains is a lifesaver. If you don't know what Recaptains is, they recap books so you don't have to like reread them if you don't want to. Usually I like to reread them, but I didn't have time and I was like, I need to get to In the Afterlife like right now. I'll link them down below. They're amazing. You really, really need to check them out. I loved this book. I thought that this was an incredible close to this series, and the last scene in this book just made me cry because I was like, oh, it's the end, and I'm sad, but it's also really good. I love Ruby and Liam, like OTP forever and ever and ever. They're so awesome. Mostly Liam, but yeah, mostly Liam. This series is great. It's probably one of my favorite dystopians. I love Ruby, love Liam, love these characters, love Chubbs, all the people. They're so great. Just, read this series, guys, really. I basically don't even need to say this a 5 out of 5 stars, but I will for you. 5 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna lump the next 2.5 together because they all go together, and that's Just One Day, Just One Year, and Just One Night by Gail Forman. I really liked these books, guys. Again, with the unrealistic contemporary things, it's kind of something you just have to get over with contemporaries. They're really unrealistic. That stuff doesn't happen in real life, but you love it anyway because of the characters. I thought it was just really interesting how these books told their stories, because this starts with just one day and then goes into like a year, and this one starts with just 1 year and then goes into a day, and they end at the same spot. I really liked the characters in them, and I liked that they had to go on their own journeys separate from each other. They had to like find themselves. That was really, really good about these books. So these two got a 4 out of 5 stars from me, 4 out of 5 stars. The novella Just One Night got a 3.5 because I had a little bit of an issue with it, especially because I read them back to back. It didn't feel the same as the other books. I feel like Gail Forman isn't really used to writing in third person, and that's what that book was. It was like a really weird third person, but the other two books were in first person, so it was like she was transitioning from first person to third person. It was like in and out and everywhere, and it was kind of hard to read and didn't feel like the other books. Even if the writing style wasn't the best, I really liked the content and what happened because it just made me happy inside. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And the last two books I read this month, guys, these last two books, The Bone Season and The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. These books are so good. Thanks to Jesse for lending me his arc of The Mime Order. It's not out till January of 2015, but I'm so glad I got to read them back to back. I really love this world a lot. It's kind of hard to get used to at first because you're just dropped in this like urban fantasy world and you're like, what the crap is happening? I have no idea what's going on. And you kind of just have to figure things out as you go. But once you get into it, so good. I love the main character, Paige, so much. She is a great heroine. This is kind of a little bit of a dystopian, and she's not like the typical teenage dystopian heroine where she's like, oh my gosh, I have to save everybody and make all these stupid decisions, which is the stupidest trope I've ever heard of in my life. Like, sacrifice yourself for everybody, because that makes sense and works out every single time, right? Right, no. She makes decisions that make sense, and even if she makes mistakes, like, there are mistakes that everybody would make. Both these books got a 4 out of 5 stars for me, but I feel like, as my friend Max at Well Done Books said, I feel like it's more of a 5-star series because I feel like it's gonna get there. It's getting there. But right now the books are like 4.5 out of 5 stars. They're like around that area. But really, read The Bone Season. It's so good. So good. So that was my wrap up, all those books. Hope you enjoyed that. Now let's get into the TBR. I don't really have a lot planned for this month because I'm trying to lower my TBR along with some of my friends. We're trying to like get rid of these books that are on our TBR and have been there forever. So I have a couple books that I'm planning on reading, and the rest of the month is just gonna be reading whatever the crap I want off my TBR pile. The first book that I'm reading this month / have already started reading is The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. I read the other Mara Dyer books earlier this year, so I just recapped it, looked it up, and now I'm reading the third one because I just want to know what happens. The Mara Dyer series is so creepy, so I'm really interested to see what happens in this last book because so many things have happened and so many crazy things have happened. I'm just interested to see where Michelle Hodkin takes it and where it goes from here. The next book I'm going to read is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is the Booksplosion book of the month. I haven't reread this book in so long, so I'm excited to reread it, especially with the movie coming out. I gotta reread it like at the start of this month, so my view of the movie isn't like tainted, and I'm not just sitting and comparing everything word for word, note for note. The other book that I'm going to read this month is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I got this from Liz at Liz Loves Literature for my birthday, and then I got it for her birthday, so we're gonna read it together at the end of this month. I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to this book forever and ever, and I've heard only good things about it, so I'm so excited. And just look at the beautifulness. Look at how beautiful it is. Don't even look at my face, just look at the beautiful book. So yeah, that's my TBR for this month, plus whatever the crap I want to read off of my TBR pile. So obviously my wrap up will probably be bigger next month, like I'll actually have read more than 3 books, but I want to leave myself some breathing room. I don't want to plan everything out. I just want to read what I want to read in the moment. Be free, fight the power. Let me know if you have any questions or anything, or let me know what you read or are reading this month down in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to discuss with you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Part of it. Mom, stop walking.